Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels and short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning.
Happy Monday. Pre-record Monday. We are
Yes.
pre-recording today because lots of travel for all three of us next week. And only one of us is going to Verma. Jamie, you excited?
So excited. Two favorite things, Verma and Vegas.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah. Do I detect?
A little bit. I'm not a big Vegas fan, but am excited to see all my favorite vendors and vacation rental managers.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I am a little jealous. This is my first year, I think, in 8 years that I haven't gone to Verma. So I have a little bit of FOMO for sure.
Yeah, it's always good to see everybody, but I'm not too worried about missing out on Vegas this year. Vegas is fun
Vegas
in
is
your
tough.
early and mid 20s, but in your mid to late 30s, it's not so much. I like to go to bed early, and Vegas is not that town. I will be off on an anniversary trip to the W in Punta Cana. My first all-inclusive. I don't know. Have you guys ever done one before?
When I was a senior in high school in Cancun.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to not make any decisions and not leave property and not break out the credit card, hopefully, for as long
No,
as
that's on the
possible.
way out.
So it's on the way out. I get it, but I'll report back and see how it is. It's a brand new resort, so it could go either way, but excited for a little vacation.
That's awesome. Jamie will be in Vegas, just breathing
Brandy.
that fresh casino air.
Brandy's still in Boston.
Currently, I'm actually in New York, but I'm just all over the place, zipping around. I'll be en
never
route to
pinned her down.
Boston. No.
Are you booking all your trips on AI or what?
Well, we'll get to it. I was unsuccessful.
Okay. So you were in New York for anything special?
My birthday.
Heyo, happy birthday, Brandy.
Yeah.
Thank
Excited.
you.
Birthday.
Yeah, it was. Well, now, I mean, it happened yesterday. An incredible restaurant called Kono. That's like, I think it just won a World's 50 Best. And it was like a very incredible yakitori experience. And it's usually all that kind of cooking is usually very like solemn. I feel like when you go to like an omakase restaurant, it's very like reserved. And it was like the way they're prepping everything is very meticulous, but the music selection was early 2000s rap and R&B. So we walked in and like Yeah by Usher was blasting and a Millie and like all this stuff. And like I think that just made it so fun. It like took the seriousness out of all of it, which I thought was really cool.
They knew it was your birthday. You needed that nostalgia. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how much that costs. A top 50
Me either.
restaurant in New York City.
That's for my
So,
credit card to know.
rack those points up, Brandy. Rack those points up. Cool. Well, we touched on a topic last Monday on how AI and booking compatibility and what all that'll look like in the future. And since then, more has come out. And for example, ChatGPT launched apps where you can kind of embed natively in there. Well, I guess Expedia and Booking.com on GPT. But we all played around with it. Jamie's the most tech savvy of us all. He made it the furthest. But I'm not gonna lie, my user experience was not great or smooth or easy. So, Jamie, you want to weigh in here?
Yeah, and in the reviews that I've been reading around online, like they haven't been the best in terms of people actually figuring out how to use the app. But if you know how to prompt it and you know how to use it, I think it's a decent experience. And And for those watching, happy to give a quick preview because it is, I think, pretty interesting on how they're embedding the apps. So think about these apps for ChatGPT, and I'm sure Gemini will come out with their own version of like the app on your phone, or using Google Maps. Like they're trying to essentially create their own ecosystem. So Will, if you want to pop up the screen, you can go in and you either start your query with Expedia or booking.com. So I'm going to type in booking.com and I'm going to say, find me a hotel in Atlanta tonight. And it's going to key up the booking.com app and that it has sort of access to. It's going to know the dates that I'm looking to search, knows the city, and it is going to go out and start finding me hotels to book. It's going to give me a way to, and I'm booking.com, find me a hotel in Atlanta tonight.
Not a lot of imagination. You could go anywhere in the world, and we've chosen Atlanta in your own backyard.
Sometimes when you have kids, like you just need to get out for a night.
I asked ChatGPT to book me a trip to the Azores during whale watching season.
But you see here, it gave you some great examples of hotels. It gives you the price that you can sort of sort between. And then it is going to bring you into the booking.com site, everything filled out. I'm already logged in because when I first did it, it asked me to log in. Now it sort of has connected me through so it knows all my preferences. It knows everything about me, whether I'm a Genius member, whether I get discounts, and can bring all that in. And we go through, it's got the right dates. It's got that it's just me. Sorry, Alex, my wife, she can't come. And I can
brutal. You're escaping the kids.
Yeah. And you can prompt it further, like actually make it a hotel for 4. I'm bringing the kids and need a pool. And so it is going to leverage amenities. It's going to bring all these things in. And with Expedia, and it leverages the entire ecosystem. So you can search for vacation rentals. Similarly with booking.com. And so now I'm staying in the country and in suites by the hotel. Couldn't be more beautiful.
So why not just go to booking.com? If you're going to be typing booking.com into the search bar of GPT, why not just type it in and go directly to the site?
So this is where we think about, like, where do most travel inspiration start right now? Where does travel search start? It starts on Google, right? It doesn't start on Expedia. It doesn't start on Booking. Like the gateway to the internet is Google. And ChatGPT, Gemini are betting that the new gateway to the internet is going to be their app. It's going to be their ecosystem, and that the OTAs need to have their apps embedded into that new ecosystem. So just like on Google Maps, where if you search for a hotel, you're going to see the OTA options and you're going to be directed to book through them. And just like when you use Google Flights, you're given all the options and you can book through Delta. Like, they are betting on these new, and like you think about, if you're just going to use your smart speaker, like that booking, and it's now going to come through ChatGPT. It's going to tee up the booking.com API to find what's available and make that booking through it.
So again, like, why not just go directly to the booking app, the booking website, the booking URL?
And absolutely, you could do that. And the people that are going to book direct know that they want to book through booking.com. They're going to do that. But what we know is that, how does Booking, Expedia, TripAdvisor, all these companies sort of generate the majority of their traffic? They're paying for that traffic through Google. So you better believe that Booking, Expedia are going to be paying to be the app of choice Because if you just start searching for a hotel now on ChatGPT, it's going to start prompting you. Like, do you want to use Expedia? Do you want to use Booking? And I suspect over time, like these prompts of, do you want to use these specific apps within the ChatGPT ecosystem? That is going to be a paid type of experience that those app providers can and sort of pay up to be the suggested option.
Yeah. So back to the Google example, on Google Maps, you still, when you select a hotel, you get the option to book on Expedia, on Booking, on blah, blah, blah. You typically usually get the ability to book direct as well. You get the direct link.
Mm-hmm.
Is your prediction that the LLMs will get rid of all the ability to book direct because the book direct folks are not paying them enough money in ads or not doing a rev share B2B? Is the book direct movement over? Give us a crazy statement.
Oh, I love this. Yes, clip it. Let's hear your take.
So this is where I think the personalization that ChatGPT offers is going to be critical. So like, Michael, you're a Delta guy. What do you have a preference on hotels?
No.
Hotel brand? You're agnostic. You just want the cheapest price.
Location, quality, matrix.
But your preference could be, I only want direct booking options. Like what?
Who's going to select that?
No, but so ChatGPT is going to know you, and it's going. And I think of it as like, what is everything that and ChatGPT could know, like my executive assistant. So everyone think of this as your own personal executive assistant. They're going to know that you're a Marriott Bonvoy member. They're going to know that you're a Delta SkyMiles member. They're going to know that you prefer to book your hotels direct and make sure that you get those points associated and free Wi-Fi associated with booking direct. So they're going to know your travel preferences. They're going to have connected to all the different systems because the Marriott app, the Hilton app, they're all coming. And they weren't what they launched with, but they're all coming. Yeah. The ability for someone to create a direct booking sort of app through this, I'm sure is coming too. But that's where if someone's starting sort of brand agnostic, like just like they would with Google, that's where the OTAs are paying for that ability to be that provider. That will still happen. But I think the ability to have personalization and for it to book through the direct source that you want is absolutely going to be there and is going to be why people feel it is like magic. Because, like it just always, but when I ask for a hotel, it just knows to book through Marriott.
Yeah, I just think that after like in our bubble, we know that we want to book direct on the site or that we're the Marriott Bonvoy customer. But when this is like, applicable to everyone that's booking who are agnostic, that don't have these preferences, I feel like it is going to be almost impossible to compete with Booking.com and Expedia to appear if it is just someone doing their educational, first cursory glance where they don't have a preference to book with Marriott or to book with Hilton. So, and it's like, what is the next level up of like, it's basically like Google paid ads on steroids. Like, how do you get yourself to the top of that search page?
Yeah, no. And that's where like, I think we'd probably have a clip like a year ago of like everyone freaking out about the OTAs getting disintermediated by ChatGPT. And it's like, no, like
now they have money.
They're going to go where the money says. And the OTAs are absolutely willing to pay to make sure the bookings are getting made through them.
Yeah. Back to the individual apps, right? So you're going to have Marriott's app, the Hilton app, the Expedia, Airbnb booking apps. What about the independent hotels or the independent vacation rental managers? Are they going to have to build their own app, or is there going to be some central source that kind of puts them all together and becomes the direct booking app or the direct booking app enabler?
Yeah, and that's where I see some of these like unique loyalty programs popping up that can build their own sort of direct booking apps. Like there needs to be some sort of aggregator probably to sort of bring that and they're all not going to build their own integrations in with ChatGPT. So whether it's Journey, whether it's leading hotels of the world, some of these more boutique sort of booking or loyalty engines, I think could absolutely have a play here and to provide more bespoke booking engines.
And it will be a booking engine, because ultimately right now, when I did my GPT search, I used Expedia as my example, and I said, I'm ready to book, let me book. And it said, okay, great. You have to leave and go to Expedia for 2 minutes, and then you can come back. Like, eventually it's going to be native to the search bar, right? Or do you think it's always going to be
click
and
you can deliver?
Yeah, I think there's going to be more that happens like in that view, but I think ultimately all those bookings are going to happen and direct through channel. And yeah, they can probably bring more and more into the visual, but ultimately, like whether it's taking you to the booking.com app or taking you to the website, like it's all happening through the same engine with the same commission structure.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be really interesting for the whole booking flow, like how you're going through it. And as a person that is like, as people get more comfortable with this, I think the fighting for attention is really going to be interesting, like in your LLM. And also it probably depends on the ones that you're using. We're talking about ChatGPT. What happens if you're using Claude or any of the other ones, like where the preference is going to lie? I think that part it's really interesting and kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's just the next wave of Google search, but a little bit more out of our control. But
yeah, it's a Pandora's box right now, right?
Yeah.
We don't really know where we're going. But go ahead, Brandy.
I was going to say, speaking of AI, we have the AI in the PMS ecosystem we're now here, and Boom raised recently. Congratulations, 2.7 million. No small check size. And I had done a demo with them a couple of years ago, just to like play around and see. And I think that it makes sense, but I feel like everyone's getting into the AI space in the PMS ecosystem. So curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, raising north of $12 million is a monster kind of first round announcement. So traction has to be good. The initial customer feedback has to be good. And I do think the ability to adapt to where and how fast technology has moved over the past 3 years is not going to benefit the incumbents as much as it's going to benefit the newer style companies. And so we'll see how quickly some of the incumbents can adapt. They certainly have cash flow and dev teams to be able to do so. But the wave of AI getting into all aspects of our business is quickly upon us.
Oh my God. The thought though of like, here's the thing, even if it's a great product, convincing people to migrate from a PMS, it better be really tight.
Well, not everyone does it
trauma.
every single year, Brandy. So
yeah. Chaotic energy.
And that's where I think it's super interesting with the Boom model versus maybe some of the other larger PMSs that are leveraging AI. So, and Boom with its sort of an ecosystem of they're essentially building everything and use and become a Boom user, Boom property manager, and they're going to provide you end-to-end AI integrated into everything, as opposed to, let's say you're using Hostaway or Guesty and or Lodgify or Uplisting or a lot of the others, like where they partner with all these companies and that are going to take AI and do certain aspects, whether it's guest messaging, whether it's task automation, and work within your existing PMS, and you get access to this entire new ecosystem of all. And it feels like every day there's another AI guest messaging app or AI task automation app or AI revenue management app that is going to bring AI into some aspect of your business versus Boom, which is building it all themselves and are going to integrate it all together. So and clearly they've got some traction and with being able to raise that much money. I think it's also interesting they're pushing into other aspects of property management. So long-term rentals, more and broader into the real estate space of saying, okay, if we build this for short-term rentals, we can build it and for this larger ecosystem, which and maybe has a much larger TAM than our addressable market than just vacation rentals.
Yeah. So congrats to Boom and the team there. Following up on a topic from our last show was the government shutdown and its effects on travel. As we said at the top of the show, we pre-recorded this, so we're doing this on Friday morning. We don't have the full weekend stats, but the TSA throughput over the past 7 days is actually up year over year from last year. So we're not seeing much of a decline on TSA. I've been kind of tracking wait times and wait lines just out of curiosity out of Atlanta. Not really anything different there yet, but we are kind of reaching that 2-week pay cycle soon.
And also all of us have flights to very different destinations this coming week. So let's see if we can all make it through those travel cycles.
We will report back, but a lot of the industry is going to be traveling this week. So from all parts of the country and all parts of the world, really. So it'll be really fascinating to see how this percolates through. And then, Jamie, any other data on what travels looked like?
Yeah. So, and Delta did report earnings. I thought it was super interesting, sort of how they sort of categorize the country and what's doing well versus not well, and just to sort of and take it back to the broader themes we were talking about. Like and if you remember back to March, they were the first one to sort of hit the warning bell that like, okay, like things aren't looking good. There's clearly a pullback heading into the summer. And people weren't booking as far ahead in advance as they were. They were seeing real weakness in the main cabin and continued strength in the premium cabin. And then you sort of fast forward now, they're reporting on what happened this summer. And essentially they said like leading up was weak, but then you sort of hit July and things started doing really well. They're reporting on and expectations for Q4 up 2 to 4%. So that's and where they were calling for, and it could be declines up 2 to 4% is pretty positive guidance. I think aligns with what we've been seeing in past few weeks. So they're expecting that to continue. And I think they are expecting this government shutdown to end relatively quickly and not be a negative factor. So that's definitely a risk. But they did call out still like main cabins essentially flat. All the growth is happening in premium. It's happening in loyalty. It's happening for business travelers. And there's still some real weakness on the consumer side.
People using those points. Well,
and
as
luxury and wealthy people always travel. So we saw that through the 08, 09 downturn that hospitality was crushed, but not in the luxury segment. So
yeah, rich people like to fly regardless.
Yeah. And in the hotel data, like it was down again in September, and short-term rental demand for September just
a historically terrible month for everybody.
Historically a terrible month. We also had like one less day of around Labor Day in the month of September. It was in August, so that impacted it. But short-term rental demand, which had been growing up 2 to 3%, was flat. It was up 0.1%. So, and a lot of that was the impact of Labor Day, but not a ton of strength coming out of the summer.
Well, as this airs, everyone will be at Verma. And there was some spicy conversation on LinkedIn last week about what like the value that people derive from Verma. And so I would love to hear from the audience whenever you listen. What do you feel you're getting from Verma? Do you feel that the price of membership and the price of the ticket is worth everything? Do you not feel like that? I personally I mean, this year I'm not going, but all the other years I have felt that the price of the ticket was validated by all of the networking and connections and, you know, that kind of thing that I did there. I will say the food is always terrible. That is a consistent, but I felt, and especially as a larger operator, when you pay a membership fee, it's not really that high in terms of like you're being a bigger operator. I can see how if you're a smaller operator or you're paying for it individually, that is a heftier chunk. So I'm excited to hear, you know, after people go through this year's Vermont, do you feel like it's worth it? And yeah, I'm excited to, there's some spice on the internet earlier, so I'm excited to hear some comments.
Well,
and Jamie will give us our GMH. He's our only rep this year.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, enjoy everyone's travels, safe travels. Hope there's no major setbacks with all the shutdown activity. But Jamie, have fun in Vegas, but not too much. Brandy, enjoy the whale watching in the Azores.
The Azores.
There you go. And we'll see everybody next week.